Empower News Magazine.
Hi, everyone. What I've learned over the past year, besides trying to learn how to get sleep, um, to collaborate with others. I started this magazine with $5,000 my own money savings because I really felt there was something lacking in the Black community. And when I started start having Empower happy hours where I would go to different nonprofit organizations and 10% of proceeds would go to organization. My readership grew maybe like 6% in like 6 months. And I realized that just going in the community, talking to people, one-on-one, people started learning about the magazine. Eventbrite was a good way for people, even if they didn't come to the event, they started learning about the publication because they knew we cared about the community and social issues. And it really helped increase my brand. So that's one thing I definitely learned this past year. What I'd like to learn now would be how to make some money. My husband is very patient with me as far as the mortgage, and we're ready to actually start turning a profit some kind of way. So I'm really open for ideas on how to make this. I'm not trying to be rich or anything, but at least being able to help with some of the bills around the house. So that's what I'm hoping to get out of this in advertising, ancillary, different products. So thank you.
Evanston Now.
Hi, I'm Bill Smith from Evanston Now, and I guess the thing that we learned most over the past year is that our traffic growth is very closely tied to increasing the story count on the site. We've managed to get it up to about 10 stories a day on good days, and that seems to make a difference to our readers. Growing revenue over the past year, but not nearly as much as we'd like, and so I'm here in part to learn more about how to do that even more. And I also am realizing that I'm going to have to figure out how to successfully manage what is going to have to be a very gradual growth in the staffing of the site, but we need to do that as well.
Front Porch Forum.
Yes, one thing we learned in the wake of Hurricane Irene way up in Vermont is that giving neighbors an easy way to communicate during crisis is extremely powerful. And one thing I'm hoping to learn this year, looking forward to moving forward on, is negotiating with traditional media and in business deals.
Hawaii Independent.
Thank you very much. Ikaika Hussey from the Hawaii Independent. What I've learned, we've been on live now for 3 years, and I got into this because I love the stories, I love the journalism. What I realized is that every day I have to be cold calling 20 businesses and knocking on doors and closing sales. And my job, as much as I love our publication, my job is to fund it. And it's been a radical change for me, moving from being the editor to being the guy who sells ads and supports it. And the thing that I really want to learn for the coming year is how to better engage our community. A lot of the journalists that we work with are sort of traditional, formerly print journalists. And so it's moving them into a community engagement mode is where we need to go. So that's what I'm looking forward to learning. Thank you.
iNews Network. Laura.
The iNews Network is a nonprofit news collaborative based in Denver. And I think this year in the past year, we've learned that we can do the labor and resource and skill intensive, in-depth stories in a collaborative way with other media. And can do it in a way that has impact. So our stories have, in the past year, changed laws and policies and sparked people to action. What I'd really like to learn this year is more about sustainability. And I used to think that sustainability really I was only thinking of financial sustainability. And now I realize we really need to look at systemic or infrastructure sustainability. How do we keep this going? Like Brian was saying, we need to have a critical mass. And so that's really what I want to think about, those two kinds of sustainability together.
Jersey Bites.
My name is Deb Smith. I am the owner and executive director of Jersey Bites, and you can tell I have a sense of humor. It is not an editorial commentary about New Jersey. I like to say we are the online food network for New Jersey. We took up the soft news when the newspapers started dropping the restaurant reviews, And we talk about restaurant reviews and recipes and hunger relief and farm to table and all of the really cool stuff that's going on in New Jersey. And yes, we have farms and we grow things in New Jersey. We have 37 contributors throughout the state. They are all volunteers. Some of them are professional writers, and some of them are lawyers and teachers and just all passionate about food. One of the things that I learned this year was that I actually am worthy of a good salesperson, and didn't think I was. And I put the call out and put an ad up and got someone who used to sell for the New York Times and now sells for Rutgers Magazine and is so passionate about Jersey Bites that she's recruiting people that she's worked with in the past in advertising to help build the business. So I'm very, very excited about that. And another really exciting thing, and you don't see it in the screenshot, is we're just launching a deals program called 3 Square Deals. And it's in partnership with the Community Food Bank of New Jersey. So a portion of every deal that we sell will go to fighting hunger in New Jersey. So they're so excited about it. We're very excited about it. And that's what my next big step is. Thanks.
Locally grown news, Michelle.
Hi, my name is Michelle Ferrier, and I'm with Locally Grown News. I would say this past year the challenge has been the learning, I should say, has really been that we're a brand and rather than a website or an online community. I've been using a lot of different kinds of tools to be able to get the word out about Locally Grown News and found that there are different audiences on different platforms that require different things. And so managing those different audiences has been a real challenge and a good learning. And what I'm looking to get out of this next year is really monetizing using different revenue streams, understanding that it's not just advertising, it's not just happy hours perhaps, but other opportunities to be able to extend our brand into products and other things.
The Loop NY.
Hi, I am Diana Marzalek. I'm the co-editor of The Loop NY. We are a hyperlocal news site in Westchester County, right outside New York City. It has been up and running for going on 4 years. I've been there for about a year, and there are 2 of us. So we have grown the business, and we have sort of, I won't say we plateaued, but I think our next challenge is how to move it both editorial forward and financially forward. To keep it going, we have experimented and continue to experiment, but finding sort of that magic thing that can help draw the community in at the next level, help draw the business community in at the next level is the challenge we're looking at in the next year.
Magic City Post.
Hi, I'm Wade Kwan. I'm a Birmingham native and co-owner of Magic City Post. The thing I learned this past year is if you write about what you're passionate about, I'm passionate about Birmingham, and you work hard enough, you're rewarded with someone like Emily who makes up for all of your shortcomings because she's really, really good at business and is a godsend. You should talk to her sometime over the next couple of days. You can't have her, but you should definitely talk to her. One of the things I'd like to learn in the coming year is how to continue to diversify our staff and our content, so that way we can continue to reflect the positive things that are going on in Birmingham.
I paid him to say that. Check is coming. Paired with Magic City Post, we have a string of hyperlocal shopping sites. So we didn't just look at the needs of news in the community, we also looked at the needs of the local businesses. So we offer e-commerce, so each one of our local shops can actually sell online now. That was something that was badly needed. The lesson that we learned in that is that we had to do it on a partnership base. I just moved back from New York to Birmingham, Alabama, where I'm from. So I've been gone a decade. I didn't know anyone. And we went to the local chambers of commerce. So rather than having to take a significant amount of time to ramp up, we have 52 customers now already, and we're in our first 90 days. So we're really proud of that. We're profitable, which is amazing. The lessons that we'll learn on the shopping side moving forward is just, I think, getting our processes down pat, because I will stay up 20 hours a day helping the local businesses. So we need to get more things down on paper so it's more systematized.
My Edmonds News.
Well, the continuing thing I keep learning is that it's hard to figure out how to make money, which I know is not news to anybody here in this room. But I feel like I've made some good progress. I have an ad salesperson now that I'm feeling pretty confident is making some inroads. Have a lot of competition in my tiny little town of 40,000. We have 6 media outlets for our little town, including 3 online sites, me included, and a patch site that started last December. So I've been learning a lot about competing with other folks. And what I'd like to learn is just more ideas for revenue, increasing revenue streams, and more ideas for figuring out how to stay competitive in that landscape. Thanks.
My Everett News, Leland?
I just started in January, so I'm learning every day. I learned this morning that I could sit on an airplane and fly to Chicago and write a story about a murder that happened yesterday and beat the local newspaper with it. So I thought that was kind of cool, but that's what I learned this morning. But what I've learned in the past year doing this is along that line, write what I consider news, not what I think somebody else might consider news. Go ahead. The tagline up there is updates from a guy born and raised here. Write about this town. This is about this town and the things going on here. And go ahead and trust my judgment. You can see up there we're a member with the Seattle Times. And I catch myself falling into a trap. Hey, if I write this, maybe the Times will pick it up and I'll get more hits. And I have learned to ignore that little voice, send that one away, and just write what I know. And what I'd like to learn is, like most of the people have already expressed, pretty much how to monetize and market my site and to immediately take a phrase to be a journalist and a business person.
My Verona, NJ.
I'm in a New York City suburb about 16 miles out of New York City. And what I have learned in the last year is that even though we are in an era when people can hear stories in any number of ways, they can get somebody calling them, they can get an email, they can get a text, they can get a Facebook post. There is nothing that beats having a centrally run, journalist-driven site to collect all of those stories and get it out to the people who maybe aren't on their Facebook page. When you do that, you get readers and you attract some of the most fabulous collaborators in the whole wide world. I am very lucky to have a great ad salesperson, a fabulous photographer, and a great food writer. And that's all been within the last year. The 2 things, well, I know you said one thing, but I got 2 on my agenda for next year.
I'm easy.
The thing that drives Verona more than anything is music. We have a fabulous music community starting in the elementary schools all the way up. Next year, we're going to pull off Verona Palooza, a day-long music festival from everybody from the preschool crowd on up to the kids who can't go into a bar to hear good music anymore. Coupled with that, we also want to develop an iPad-type app that people can page through that we can book higher revenue ads against, because in the end, it's all about the money.
natomasbuzz.com.
It's a Native American word, Natomas. It's a bedroom community of Sacramento of 100,000 people. And I wrote notes what I learned this year. I learned that I could literally work, as Howard mentioned, 16 plus hours a day. But I also learned that I can't do that myself. And so I'm now learning and hoping to learn more this year on how to not try to do it all by myself, whether that's more community contributors or interns. And then my second thing that I want to learn about or try to focus on is how can I harness the desire of the young people in my community. There's 4 high schools, 2 traditional and 2 charter high schools, where high school newspapers no longer exist. They don't have high school news websites themselves. And they are chomping at the bit to be a part of my website. So how can I work with them effectively on the website, but also promote the education and continuing of journalism in schools?